Hi everyone, I'm Ward, and welcome to my channel Ward Draws a Lot. Usually I only put out a video once a week on Friday, but due to me not doing a video last week, I'm doing a video on Saturday as well. So, yay, we get 2 videos. Boo, I'm on the grind. So due to the fact that I had to put out 2 videos within the span of 2 days, and I'm working like crazy to try and get it out, I decided to do a drawing that kind of challenged me enough, but also at the same time was fun to do. So I decided to just go with a simple summer illustration, except it wasn't simple at all, and actually took a lot longer than anticipated. And I think there are several reasons to why that happened. So I think, first off, I didn't draw last week, right? The drawing you did see yesterday, if you did watch the video yesterday anyway, was done the week prior to last week, so 2 weeks ago, in comparison to, this drawing, which I did in the span of like a day, and I was kind of rusty, so like I decided to do a drawing that involved a lot in it, which was like 2 people, pretty detailed, fully colored rendered, and I even did like a really crappy background to it, so there was that on top of it. So when I don't, me personally anyway, when I don't warm up or like practice enough throughout the week, I get rusty very easy. I don't know why I do. I don't know if it's like a common artist problem, I should say, between people, where if you don't practice enough, you get rusty really easy. But that's just how it is for me. So after a week or a week and a half or so, my hands are just like, hey, I don't know what we doing anymore, bro. And I look at my hands like, really, bro? Like, come on. So as a result, this drawing did take a lot longer than usual, and the sketching was very back and forth, as you could tell. Here, I think I had the most trouble with both characters, their arms and their arm placements and stuff, because usually I don't do too much with the arms, but because this is a summer illustration, I did give them like ice cream cones in their hand, or like just ice cream in general, so this way you could tell that they're in an environment talking to each other on a nice day and everything, and it's giving off very summer vibes, I usually don't do summer drawings, and I don't think there's a particular reason why I don't. I just don't end up thinking of doing them. I don't think I do any season of drawing, maybe like some holidays and stuff, but seasonal drawings I don't really find myself doing, and I think it's because most of the time when you do a seasonal drawing, you kind of have to include an environment with the character to kind of push forward that season, Like, I could draw a character with a coat on, but like, if they're just kind of standing in the middle of nowhere on a screen with like nothing behind them, unless you're like in a wintry season already, like in real life, and you connect those dots, it could be just a character wearing a coat on the screen. So I feel like when it comes to characters in certain seasons, they have to be in the environment to match, or be in those clothing, stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't draw a character wearing a bathing suit and it's like snowing outside, because it just wouldn't make sense. So I think there's a lot more that goes into doing a seasonal piece than we think there is, especially because, like me, I basically just draw the OC on the paper, and then I just, I let them just fade into the sketchbook realm, or like the drawing realm, and I'm like, see OC until I open up a sketchbook and find you again. So that's easy, just making the character and putting them on the paper or the screen or whatever. The hard part is giving them an environment to work off of, and also having to have them interact with that environment is pretty crucial to the seasonal piece. So yeah, that's my whole gripe on trying to draw a seasonal piece, which I want to try and push myself to do more often, because although I love drawing OCs, I really want to kind of push my skill a little bit further and give characters environments to work off of and stuff like that, and also kind of like, just beef it up a little bit, the drawings, because sometimes I feel like they're a little empty, even though they're like, I really love drawing characters and stuff. Putting them somewhere really kind of helps make the character alive, which I like a lot. And again, I have to practice because I stink at backgrounds, and you'll see that later on in this video, how how that shit was bad. It was so bad. But that's also why it's important to kind of have sorry, I ate a chocolate bar before I started talking again. Okay, recollected myself. I'm good now. So that's also why it's good to kind of have a goal to work off of. You know, like some people want to improve their character design, their anatomy, the way they do perspective and background, stuff like that. I think that if there's always a goal in mind, especially when you do art, and you have the want and the drive to do so, to get better, you will definitely do that. So because I have the want and the drive to do backgrounds better, I think I eventually will get there. I just have to practice a lot, and it's going to take a while to get there because I'm a very, very slow learner when it comes to this stuff. Eventually, it'll just come up. Which I also want to say, I know, like, drawing can get hard sometimes and really annoying. Trust me, I've been doing it for a while. But, like, really, honestly, don't give up. Like, if you want to do something and you want to get better at it, you will. Just keep pushing yourself within your limits, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't push yourself to the point of exhaustion or to the point where your mental health gets, like, you know, kind of fucked up. Don't do that to yourself. Push yourself within means that are reasonable for your own, you know, self. Like, there's some things that I know when I push myself too hard on, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of like defeating me. But if I just stop myself a little bit beforehand and then pick it up again, that's when things kind of add up together, you know? Don't, like, force yourself to do something that you feel you're not ready to understand and learn properly and all this stuff. Art is all about patience, learning slowly, or, you know, for me, learning slowly, learning however you learn, and then, you know, applying it eventually down the line. And damn, it's like every damn noise in the world today is just trying to get in the way. Holy shit. Anyway, before someone's muffler rudely interrupted what I was saying, yeah, just basically push yourself within your means, try your hardest, but don't try so hard that you just want to give up, you know? I think things are all about learning what your limits are and how to push yourself properly, especially because, like, I know when I was younger, I would push myself, but then I would end up feeling defeated because I didn't push myself properly or I overly pushed myself. So just take things at your own pace. If someone is better at something, then that's okay. Maybe they learned that part first, but they didn't learn the thing that you're good at yet. And there's, like, a whole lot to this stuff, okay? Just take your time with things. If you truly love something and you enjoy it, I 100% support you on that. It doesn't even have to be art. It could be, like, I don't know, like you fucking like knitting sweaters. That's hard as hell. I can't knit a sweater for my life, bro. But my mom just, like, she whips them out, no problem. She's a very, like, fabric art person, you know what I'm saying? Knitting and then sewing and then all that jazz. Like, I don't do that. I don't do none of that. I could kind of sew, but, like, that's more so for, like, just fixing stuff up. But I can't make outfits like she can and all that. But vice versa, she can't draw like I can. So everybody learns something differently, or, like, they have an interest that they like that is different in general. So again, everything is just taking it at your own pace, doing what you like, and then pushing yourself properly for that reason. Okay, now that we're done with the pep talk, I'm going to describe a little bit more about the drawing. So, as you can see on the screen, you obviously have two people. I'm thinking that they're best friends, honestly. That's what I was feeling from the vibe of both of them. They're one of my favorite, like, dynamics of friends, which is polar opposites with aesthetics. So you have the guy on the left, the guy on the right. I confuse my right to my left sometimes, my bad. The guy on the right who's kind of, like, in the punk/goth wear, versus the guy on the left who's just kind of more in the athletic leisure wear kind of thing going on. And I love that they both have some things in common. Like, they do, of course, going out and getting ice cream on a hot summer day, but they both have their hair up and they both are just pretty, I think, happy people out there. But you also have little, like, nuances, like the black nail polish on the guy who likes fitness to kind of also match the vibe of what the goth/punk guy is kind of going off of, you know what I mean? So, like, I feel like you can't have extremely polar opposite friends. That just doesn't make sense in my head, because we always hear that saying that opposites attract. I'm gonna just be real. I think that's complete and utter bullshit. I think that opposites can only attract to a degree. If you have nothing in common, then how in the hell are you going to get along? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes sense that there is some kind of opposite, so you guys can have a difference of interest and then discover new things together as friends, or even if it's the same thing that I believe with partners. But obviously, if everything's the same between each other, that's just going to get boring. The differences are needed, but completely different, I think, is a little bit more difficult to work with, especially in any kind of relationship dynamic, being it friendly or romantic. And that doesn't just go for aesthetic-wise, of course, it goes for personality-wise. Like, in my head, I'm thinking that these two got ice cream after they both saw a movie together, and since they both really like that movie and have that common ground, they're able to, conversate about it in the park as they eat their ice cream. So I think that that's like an important thing to keep in mind whenever you do any kind of relationship dynamic within characters. It just makes sense to, like, why would you make a character whose best friend literally hates everything that they do? Or, like, the same thing in real life, right? Like, I wouldn't want a friend who, like, fucking hated everything that I like. It just wouldn't make sense. It's just like, what do we even have in common? It's like, nothing. Most of the time, friendships are formed off of like interests or some kind of like hobbies or whatever like that. If you have something who's the complete opposite and like in every manner, like I said before, there's no way you're gonna find common ground and then be comfortable with that person. So yeah, that's like the point I'm just trying to make. Now, when I was doing this drawing, I knew I wanted to put some kind of an ice cream shop in the background, right? But I soon remembered, as I was trying to do it, how absolutely I have zero clue how to map a background out, especially if I already have characters involved. I feel like if you're going to do a background, you probably have to do that first, or anyway, that's how like my brain would see it, is I would have to do the background first, so this way I could work with the perspective of the characters. So what I ended up doing to try and make it easier for myself was, after I completely finished coloring in both of the characters and then giving them their highlights and everything, I made them a like PNG with no background, right? So this way I could transfer it onto a new canvas and then just kind of paste them onto the new canvas and then work on the background behind them without having to worry about messing up anything else in the art that I already have done. Now, my background skills are extremely rudimentary, alright? So I have nothing there. I can make like backgrounds that like 10-year-olds make at most. So what I did for a big brain move is I went on Google and looked up like ice cream shops and then found one that I was kind of like, okay, I can work with this. So what I did there was I just basically put it in the background and then I traced over the building. It's a building. I'm not gonna sit here and hide the fact that I went ahead and traced some rectangles behind the characters, so this way I could kind of give it like some kind of meat behind the drawing. Do I wish that I could have just done it off the top of my head? Yes, of course. But realistically, we have to start somewhere. So if I have a background that I have no idea how to do, I'm just gonna have to do what I had to do when I was younger and just basically copy over what it was. So like whenever we tried learning how to draw a character, we copied the exact same pose over, the exact same everything. That's just how it goes. I think that's how you create muscle memory too for stuff like this. So although the background is basically traced, I did change some little things around it to try and make it my own, but in the end, that's the best that I could even come up with what I had. But yeah, in the end, I liked how they came out a lot, and honestly, I think the drawing is pretty cute. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Bye!